Good afternoon, this is Kaylin Stern coming at you with a special double review of two different items. This is the one that I unboxed in my last live stream of that vegetarian USMRE. So I will be reviewing this Israeli entree, and I got another surprise right under it. And I will put the website URL where this box came from into the chat in a bit, but first I'm going to go ahead and get this thing going. This is a kosher chicken. It's an Asian chicken that I bought off of eBay, and at the time that I bought this, he had a few, and these are from 2014 with a best buy of 2016. It's somewhere on this box, but basically, if you've seen the 5-minute chef heated entree that was done by a reviewer, Country Girl MRE, and then the heater meals, which I first saw from Sticky Finger 745, and I did a trade to get one of those from him, and I reviewed that one. Basically, what this is, it's an entree inside of this container. That's all there is, and a flameless ration heater with a huge element, and it's as thick as one of those Hot Hands 18-hour body warmers, and actually just a little bit bigger than that. But and this ration heater has a piece of tape to seal it, and then much like the 5-minute chef, you can put it right back into the box after you fire up the ration heater. And because this is a little bit dated, I have some salt here that I will throw in with the 60 mils of water. So I'm going to go ahead and get this thing going. I think I'm going to have to take a blade to this heater bag because it doesn't want to open up. There we go. So there is the heater pad. I'll just take it out to show you how thick it is. It's about double the thickness of the USMRE heater pads. And again, because this is from 2014, I'm going to kick it off with some salt. And I'm going to go ahead and put the water in. It's roughly 60 mils. That's what the bag calls for. I'm going to saturate then I'll stick this inside. I'm going to tape off. And I'll stick this on top like this. The pad kind of slipped a little bit. I'm going to give it a few more shakes. If this pad does not, if this heater does not kick off, then I'll stick this in the microwave for a few minutes. This is a plastic container, so I can do that. Sometimes these older things do take a little time to kick off. Put it to my ear, I can hear a little bit of bubbling going on, so I'm going to go ahead and put it back in the box. And I'm going to close the box. I will set it aside. And while I wait for this thing to kick off, I'm going to go ahead and open up the surprise. I got an email saying that this is coming to me. Anna and Alan. And their website is annaandalan.com. They are the home of the now famous gooey butter cake in over 70 flavors. I had mentioned sometime in another live stream that if I get one, that I would try the cappuccino or espresso or whatever that one is, the coffee flavored one. And I don't, in the email, Marilyn did not say which one it is. So there is a note, a card on top. It says, "You are about to experience St. Louis's unofficial dessert, gooey butter cake. We have taken gooey butter cake to a whole new level with 73 different flavors, all to delight your taste buds. Hope you enjoy every bite of every slice. Thank you, Marilyn and Alan." It says, "Kaylin, I hope you enjoy the gooey butter cake." And it does not say which flavor it is. And I thank Marilyn Skull for sending this to me. She has sent some of these to other people to check out. So I will get this box out of here. Mom's Traditional gooey butter cake, and is featured on Food Network. They also do the Park Avenue coffee, so you can order coffee from them. I'm going to turn it this way so that so I'll angle this down a bit. Here is some more advertising for the company. And this appears to be the cake that is in here. It looks like it. And here is a list of all of the flavors. So if you go to annaandalan.com, you'll see all of these. His care instructions. Does not require refrigeration, but I will probably put the leftovers in my fridge anyway, simply because of the high humidity here and to keep my cat out of it. And then here is a history of the gooey butter cake, and you can find that on their website. And I do not know what flavor this is. Oh, this also says it's been featured on the Travel Channel, the Today Show, which is an NBC morning program here in the U.S., and the Chicago Tribune newspaper. And I'm going to lift this out of the box so I can take the bubble wrap off. And this is almost a vacuum seal. This almost looks like it's got the white powdered sugar on there, so it's like I'll need the knife again to cut this open. I will get this box out here. This is the small size. There has been, some have gotten the bigger size, so. I'm not doing a very good job of cutting this plastic back. I have a box off to the side that I am putting trash in. I have a spatula here that I'm going to go ahead and cut a slice. And I'm waiting for the Israeli flameless ration heater to do its thing. I'm just gonna, no, this thing is a dud. It's not doing anything. So I'm gonna rip this out of here, and I'm gonna toss this entree into the microwave. It's a bummer that ration heater didn't want to do anything. Okay, while I wait for that to heat up, I'm going to get rid of this box. Get this bubble wrap aside. And there it is. I have my foreignemery.com spork. I'm going to go ahead and take a taste of this, and I'll know what flavor it is. It's a kind of a sweet butter. It's a butterscotch. And oh boy, is it good. I'm going to take a look at the chat. I have to turn to my computer to read it because it's hard to read it on my phone and where I got it positioned for my recording. So I got Tracy Phillips, K-List-Ino. Wandering Marine Veteran is in the house. Thomas Whitten is here. Will Just-in-Time Prepping is here. Shiloh Sky, also known as Keith, is in here. Plain Old Chuck is in the house. I just put the web address for the website for Anna and Alan to get the gooey butter cakes and the coffee. The microwave has beeped, so I'm going to slide this aside. Double layer plastic. Pull this completely off. Or most of it anyway. So here is the Asian chicken. It has rice. The chicken is big pieces. It looked like there's supposed to be vegetables in it, but I don't see much. That's the way these things are. When you look at the packaging that has a picture of the food always looks better in the picture than what you get inside, but it smells decent. Well, this is what the rice looks like. The rice is a bit soft, but not too soft. There's a couple of pieces. Oh, come on, focus, you dang thing. Pieces of the chicken. That Asian flavor is just barely there. It's not a huge burst of the soy sauce flavor or whatever other flavors, maybe the Chinese 5 spice powder. That would have been awesome with this. But I can barely pick up any flavors. Some of these chicken pieces are big, so I'm breaking them up. Has a cross section of one of the bigger chicken chunks. Surprisingly, the chicken is not dry. It does taste a little old, but it's still perfectly edible. And since this is my dinner, I will finish this off. And after this video processes, I'm going to send the link to this video to the seller I got this from because he's interested in reviews of any of the food items that he sells. But this was listed as a military ration, but I do not think it is, simply because... Oh, sure, now the ration heater kicks off. Look at that thing. Now it's kicking off. I could have waited a little more. Oh well. I'll just leave it there to do its thing. Yeah, I guess that's a very slow ration heater. It's probably one of the slowest I've seen as far as older ones. But yeah, this is labeled or listed as a military ration, but this is a civilian package. It says voted best in 2014. That's very little English is on this box. Most of it is Hebrew. But now these little heater meals and entrees with the ration heater in there, they do have their purpose. They're good for emergency use, or just good for a quick meal when you don't have the ability to cook or time or whatever. So yeah, these are a good option for, obviously not long-term storage. This is from 2014. But still perfectly edible. I just wish that there was more real Asian flavor. And I can't see any vegetables in here. But yeah, I'm still going to finish this up. But of course, the star of the show is this butterscotch gooey butter cake. I am so going to enjoy eating that. Again, shout out to Maryland Skull. Just going to look at the chat again. Okay, what this is, for those that have just come in, I have a butterscotch gooey butter cake that was sent to me by Maryland Skull. She has a website, annaandalan.com, along with her husband. I'm going to grab the box. And this is the presentation box. And this is the smaller of the gooey butter cake sizes. I'm not sure how many sizes you can get. You can also get the mixes to bake it at home. And it was shipped to me by FedEx. and it got to me this morning. And what I have here is this Israeli self-heating entree, and I thought the ration heater was dead. I threw this in the microwave, and then this thing started kicking off, and it's still hot. But that's okay. And it had a utensil pack with this fork, spoon, and knife, but why bother with that plastic stuff when you got the 4nmre.com spork? It's a better way to go. So again, I got this off of eBay. This is made in 2014 with a Best Buy of 2016. And I don't know if the guy who sells these still has any more left or if they've all been purchased, but the listing said that, you know, if you are a food reviewer and you have a YouTube channel, he would be interested in seeing a review. So that's what I'm doing. And again, I will put the link to this video after it processes in an eBay message to him so that he can see what I think of it. I did not use the salt and pepper. I wanted to keep the flavor as original as, you know, first opening this up. Now the rice is quite soft, but you can still pick out the individual grains. The chicken is surprisingly not dry. It does taste old, but it's still perfectly fine. I'm not having any weird sensations from it. I just got one kernel of corn. Now, the box shows vegetables on the outside, but I'm picking up very, very few bits of vegetables in here. In fact, right there is a kernel of corn. It's quite soft, but not mushy, which is a good thing. I just wish it had more of the real Asian flavor, like more soy sauce or like other Oriental spices. But I don't want to add any salt to it because I think it's salty enough. I just wish that the salt would have been more soy sauce. Now, to drink, I just have hot tea in my mug. Unlike the heater meals, I did not get a drink with this. Butterscotch gooey butter cake. I don't know why, but this seems the perfect dessert to go along with this entree. I don't know why, but it does. So, Marilyn, whenever you get to watch this, you knocked it out of the park with that. That gooey butter cake is awesome. And one of these days, I am going to get that espresso one. That is one I'm dying to try. Oh, Marilyn is in the house. Yeah, go check out Marilyn Skull's website, annaandellen.com. And get you some of this. I mean, this stuff is the bomb. It is the best dessert. And I will enjoy every single bite of it. That stainless gooey butter cake is the best dessert. So, heck, I might even eat it for breakfast one of these mornings. I'm sure all the other flavors are just as good as that, but that espresso one is the one. When I actually go to purchase one of these, I will get that one. You're welcome, Marilyn. It was my pleasure to open this up. And I want to thank you for sending some of these out to various people to check out and to let the world know that you and Alan are doing some killer stuff. Of course, the coffee is something that would also be good to try. So that may come, I may buy the espresso cake and some coffee together, who knows? Old as dirt. Thanks for coming in. And for those that are just joining me, I have a 2014 Israeli self-heating entree. And the box shows vegetables, but the only vegetable I'm seeing is corn. And this is what it looks like, not what you see on the box, which is typical. And then I have here the butterscotch gooey butter cake that Marilyn Skull does, along with Alan. And there are 72 other flavors of this. So it makes it very, very tough to decide which one you want. You might have to get a few. Well, actually, Morningwood, corn in its dry form, in its ground, when it's like cornmeal, when it's hard, it's a grain and you grind it to make masa or a coarser cornmeal or polenta. But when it's softer, the sweet corn is treated as a vegetable. The field corn or the other varieties of corn that are not picked when the kernels are soft, but when they are hard, that kind of corn is treated as a grain. So it's one of those things that can be either, just like the soybean. The edamame is treated like a vegetable instead of other soybeans that are picked or harvested when they're hard and then ground into a soy flour or made into the textured vegetable protein stuff that was in the vegetarian pasta emery that I did on Sunday. So yeah, there's very few foods can be both a grain and a vegetable, but the corn and and the edamame soybean can be. Thanks for dropping in, Kayla. Catch you on the flip side. Chile expat family, welcome aboard. I am eating a 2014 Israeli civilian self-heating meal, which I think was mislabeled as a military ration on eBay. But it was something different to try. It's Asian chicken, and there's supposed to be vegetables, but the only one I'm picking out is corn. And then I have a butterscotch gooey butter cake that comes from MarylandandAllen.com. It's one of 73 flavors that they do. And I wanted to do them both together. I got the cake this morning, and I decided that since I want to review this anyway, I might as well make a full meal out of it, because the entree is all you got in the box. The utensils I did not use because I would rather use my foreignemery.com spork anyway, because I think they're just cool. And I have another one that is going to be sent to someone as a gift in the near future after I find a few other goodies. But yeah, the rice is soft, but you can still distinguish individual grains. The chicken, some of the pieces are big, so I would break them up, and surprisingly it's not dry. Like sometimes you get dry chicken or dry turkey or other, the meats can be somewhat dry, but this one is not. It just is not full of the Asian flavor, which I would have hoped. And it does taste its age. This is from 2014, but I'm having no issues eating it. And when I thought the flameless ration heater was a dud because it wasn't really heating up, I threw this in the microwave, and then a few minutes later I go to get the box to show the picture, and the heater that I put back inside it is just cranking away. So I suppose I could have waited a little longer, but I just thought it was a dud. But and I even put salt in it, like I do with the older ration heaters. But yeah, it still turned out good. It would be nice to have fresh eggs every day, but when you're a city slicker and you don't have easy access to chickens, it can be hard. I just have a hot tea in my mug. Didn't select another drink from my stuff from various rations that I've collected since I've started doing these. In early 2017, I think, was when I did my first emery that I got from Sticky Fingers when I won a giveaway that he had. But so I decided, well, I'll just have some tea with it. But this gooey butter cake, the crust is awesome. The filling is awesome. The powdered sugar on the top, it hides that surprise underneath it. I didn't know what flavor it was until I took this first bite. And oh boy, am I loving it. I'm just reading the chat. Well, I have to live in the city because I don't drive. I need to use public transportation to get around. Yeah, I live on disability, so I cannot afford to have a driver take me everywhere I want to go. I mean, I love to go out camping, do solo camping, but I can't take a bus out of the city, and even do an Uber or Lyft often can get a little expensive, and because I spend some of my money on preps. That's what my focus is making sure that I have what I need to endure whatever crap hits the fan event might come. And of course, this foil pan will not get thrown away. I wash these out and I save them because they could come in handy one of these days. I have lived in the country before, but that was when I was younger, and at different places where I lived, I was taken wherever I needed to go by my parents, whether it be to and from school, doctor's appointments, events, or in my high school years, I worked alongside my sisters and my parents at a YMCA camp outside of Boone, Iowa, which is on the Des Moines River. And then in college, when I was in Arkansas, University of Central Arkansas, I was at a Girl Scout camp that is probably about 50 miles from Hot Springs, Arkansas, on Lake Ouachita, which has some killer catfish and bass. So that's a great lake for fishing. But yeah, I volunteered at that Girl Scout camp, either in the kitchen or helping take care of the horses and things like that. So yeah, I had stuff to do when I was in these places. Of course, when I was really, really young, I did live on a farm for a couple of years, but the rest of my time was in towns because that's where my parents went. And when I went out on my own, I have my slider open, so ignore the siren. A fire truck going right down my street. So again, I apologize for that noise, but it's so nice outside. I had to have my slider open. But yeah, that's one of the things that happen when you live in the city. But like I said, because of my transportation issues, I have to be in the city. But I'm hoping to at least get in a few camping trips with a driver, of course. No, the fire truck sirens here sound just a little bit different than the police car sirens. There's just that little bit of a difference in their tone and their the pitches that they use. And the ambulances are very closer to the fire truck sound than the police cars. So there's an ambulance going down the street that's a couple blocks away from here that I can hear. So there's something big going down. Well, speaking of October meetups, there may be one here in Iowa this summer, in October. So I know for sure I will be getting a ride to that, and I'm not sure where it is. So I'll have to find out later whether or not I'll be able to bring my hammock and test it out for the first time, or if I will have to bring a tent. Now this summer may be another family trip, so I did not shoot much video last July, and I lost that footage when I wanted to edit it to put it up on YouTube, and something happened to it after I transferred it to my computer. But basically, I did get that one clip up on Facebook where I just showed this memorial bench on Lake Aquabi that my mom had done in honor of my late dad. That was one of his favorite lakes to fish and camp, is Lake Aquabi in the county where Corning, the towns of Corning and Carbon are. So you can buy a memorial bench, and then the county park service maintains those benches, and while we were there they were refinishing them. So there's one out there that has my dad's name on it. So and we used 2 cabins last year, and this summer when they get the larger 12s up, they have 6s now, but the 12s, they hold 12 people, so they're bigger, so we can use 1 instead of 2. So we may end up going with one of those, but we won't be near my dad's bench, so to speak. But I probably will not shoot much video there, because that's pretty much a family thing if we do that this summer. But October, the Iowa YouTuber meetup, I'm pretty sure that's going to happen, so we will all be shooting video of that. Oh, the dehydrating, I've done, yesterday I did a couple of chiles. I'm not sure what they were. I think one might have been a poblano, and the other one, I'm not sure what it was, but they're basically together in one container. I'm going to add more chiles to that, and then I did a yellow bell pepper that's in a separate container. And after I get a few more of those done, I'll put them in quart Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers. Now I have some cooked chicken that was given to me by someone at my mosque, and so that was cooked, and it's basically like shredded or pulled. So I got that going, and that will be camping food. Again, after it's dried, I'll put that in a Mylar bag with an oxygen absorber. And although I was looking on a website about dehydrating meats, because a little book that came with my dehydrator did not say anything about times for which meats, only for some fruits and some vegetables. But because the pieces are so much small, I just cut rounds of parchment paper and used it as liners. And you can do that. You can put parchment in a dehydrator. And so that's what I got in there. I got the chicken on there. And I'm drying that out till it's pretty darn hard. That way, hopefully it'll store a lot better. And with an oxygen absorber, it should last a fair amount of time. But as I was saying, the website one that I looked at said keep it in the fridge or freezer, but I'm not sure if that's really necessary for dried chicken with an oxygen absorber. So if someone knows about that, maybe someone can comment later if they watch this after today. Canadian Trucker, I've seen your name floating around. You sent someone a nice box of goodies. That was very, very awesome of you to do that. I love it when people send other people stuff as gifts. You know, this gooey butter cake was a gift from Marilyn Skull. And this is only the first of these. This is butterscotch. I will get more of this in the future. It's a perfect dessert to go with this chicken and rice. But I have my mind on the espresso gooey butter cake. Now this is, I'll hold this up, this is chicken and rice, maybe the occasional piece of corn. There's one right there. This came all the way from Israel. The eBay listing said it was a military ration, but I hardly doubt it. This is totally civilian. You see vegetables in there, but they're only corn, so that's totally deceptive. This was made in 2014 with the Best Buy of 2016. But it's perfectly fine. I just wish that there was more of the Asian flavor, because that's what this is supposed to be. But this butterscotch gooey butter cake, I wouldn't be surprised if any of you just want to lick your screens. That stuff is so good. Actually, you know, that's good morning wood. I may throw it in my freezer after I bag it to keep it longer, because I want to have it as a camping meal. You know, that's why I wanted to. I could have just eaten it, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to experiment with the dehydrator. I dehydrated, the very first thing that I dehydrated was canned beans, like black beans, pinto beans, kidney beans, and the Great Northern was the fourth bean that I did, or cannellini, I don't remember, one of those two. But I dehydrated those. Then I dehydrated some canned mixed vegetables and then I dehydrated some mushroom paste. These little cans I thought was just mushroom pieces, but it was a paste, so I dehydrated that. And I made up a little parchment packet to put that in. I threw some dry seasonings into the Mylar bag along with the dried beans and the vegetables. I put that mushroom paste packet in there with an oxygen absorber. And so I made myself a soup mix, a vegetarian soup mix. That if I wanted to, if I take that chicken that I got in my dehydrator now, along with that soup mix, I can have myself a pretty good camping meal. In fact, there's probably enough in that bag for like 4 or 5 servings. So that's one thing I could do with it, or just add some noodles or whatever. But yeah, basically experimenting with the chicken. I dehydrated some cantaloupe, and I dehydrated strawberries and grapes, made my own raisins. And I dehydrated some bell peppers. Oh, I put the first batch of bell peppers I did into that soup mix that I made. So I'll just keep doing stuff like that with my dehydrator. And by doing the canned vegetables, that'll allow me to free up space and extend the shelf life of that food longer. Yeah, Prep Ford is in here. Thanks for dropping in. No, Canadian trucker, I don't have trucking. I live in a small apartment, and no one here has assigned parking spaces. And I either walk across the park to a bus stop, or I walk across the street on the other side of the street from the park to another bus stop, or I walk a couple blocks away to a couple of different bus stops. So I do own a trike, but I have to keep it inside because the last trike I had got stolen, and the one I currently have now has been vandalized. But because I have basically 6 locks on it, I just don't have my own garage or shed that I can keep it in. And I seriously doubt the new apartment manager will let me do anything like that, because someone said, well, take it up to your apartment. I said, it's 100 pounds worth of track. How am I going to get that thing up the steps? It's just not possible. Oh. And dehydrated apples are good. I've had them before. But yeah, that may be the next thing I put on there after the chicken. I have also dehydrated potatoes and zucchini and Brussels sprouts. The potatoes and the zucchini I sliced thin, and the Brussels sprouts I cut those in half. I had frozen the zucchini and the Brussels sprouts first instead of blanching them because I had them for a while. I just wanted to keep them in the freezer. And then I just thawed them out, and yeah, they dehydrated just fine. I got those in bags with oxygen absorbers as well. Thanks for dropping in, Canadian trucker. And again, thanks for coming in. And I'm going to go ahead and hit on your channel while your name is still in the chat, because you're new to me, and I'd seen you come up before on others. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and hit on your channel. Doesn't matter if you don't have any videos there, I just hit on your channel. I do that. I'll subscribe to people who don't have stuff on their channels. You never know, they might want to toss a video up in the future. Back to this gooey butter cake. This stuff is good. Nicole Lake Erie Prepper is here. You just missed me. I don't know when you came in, but I reviewed this Israeli self-heating entree. This does not look at all what is actually in this. Only vegetable that was in the entree itself was corn. There's no broccoli, no carrots, no peppers. None of that. So this packaging is deceptive, like a lot of those food packages are. You look at it, you think, "Ooh, that looks good," but then when you get it, it looks like something you might get in your school cafeteria or in a hospital meal or a jail meal or something like that. But this is from 2014, came all the way from Israel, and his listing called it a military ration, but this is totally civilian. And I have a butterscotch gooey butter cake. And I just put the URL for the website that this comes from. Marilyn Skull sent it to me to try out, and there are 73 flavors. So the flavor, my first purchase will be the espresso one. That's the one I want to try. Others have received these to review on their channels, and every one of them good so far. And this butterscotch one is awesome. Yeah, so if you check that site out, you can also get the mixes to make these cakes at home. And I think I don't know what all the mixes include, where we'd even include the powdered sugar for the topping for those flavors that use it, like this one, or if you add your own. But my browser on my computer just crashed, so it's reloading now. I have crappy internet here, so my upload speed is crap. I haven't been able to upload my review of a vintage British 12-hour ration that was sent to me by Nem's MRE via Nathan's MRE. I'm going to have to figure out a way to get that one up. My computer crashes whenever I try to upload it, so what I may end up doing is play it on my computer and then live stream it on my phone to get it up that way, or offline record it and then upload it from my phone. So that's probably the only two ways I can do that, because the other attempts, like 7 or 8, have all failed because of interruptions or computer crashes. So I'll figure something out. And of course, I'm not going to eat this before bed. I'm going to, even though that says does not need refrigeration, I'm going to put this in the fridge simply because of the high humidity in this apartment. And even though I don't have the heater on, it can get a little warm, especially when I'm running the dehydrator. Plus, I don't want my cat to get into it. My temperature in this room right now is 69 Fahrenheit. That's okay. I'm probably going to go ahead and shut this stream down and just let YouTube process it, and then the chat will replay. But when I get to the description, I'll put the link to the site on there where you can get these gooey butter cakes and coffee, because they also do coffee. So I'll put that there. And the eBay seller that I got that Entree from is interested in reviews of it. So I told him that I would do a review and send him a link to the video once I get it uploaded. So after this is done processing, that's what I'll do, so that he can see my review of it. And so I don't know if he has any of those left, but anyway, he'll see a review of it. Again, I want to thank you all for coming. And again, check out AnnaandAlan.com. Get yourself some gooey butter cake or their coffee, because this stuff is the bomb. This is the best dessert ever. So again, thanks for watching, and catch you on the flip side.